These days, science fiction, fantasy, and superhero TV shows are all the rage. But it hasn't always been easy to get such shows on the air, and sometimes they weren't well received. Whether it was due to bad storylines, hokey special effects, bad execution, or just not being what TV audiences wanted, these shows were quickly canceled. Many of these shows are barely remembered by a handful of people, but we're shedding a light on them now. Yanked from the dustbin of network history, we present 7 geeky shows that fizzled out. As a bonus, at the end we'll reveal a pilot for a show that we're very glad fizzled out as well. Before we continue, just a reminder to show your fandom love and subscribe. Click the button and the bell so you never miss a thing. Starman. Based on the movie of the same name, this series continued where the movie left off. In that movie, the Starman had gifted Jenny Hayden with a child. In the TV series, he returns to find his child and Jenny for reasons? While it was a logical continuation of the movie, the story just didn't resonate, and it just didn't justify a second season. 22 episodes, and that's all she wrote. Voyagers. This show had a great premise. An orphan boy forced to live with his horrendous aunt and uncle. No, it's not Harry Potter. His name was Jeffrey Jones, and he met up with a time-traveling Voyager named Phineas Fogg. They go on adventures throughout history, trying to keep it on track. Phineas is a Han Solo clone who lost his guidebook that tells him what to do, but Jeffrey knows a lot about history. Amazing for an 11-year-old. Part education, part adventure, this show only lasted 1 season of 20 episodes. Is it possible for a time travel show to be before its time? Otto Man. In the 80s, computers seemed magical, so a police computer expert named Walter creates the amazing Otto Man, who can actually appear as a real person, albeit sometimes looking like something out of Tron.
In fact, on a scale of 1 to 10, think of me as an 11.
Cursor, Automan's floating computer companion, can create just about anything by drawing it in thin air. Together, they fight crime. Lasting 13 episodes, this series was an interesting look into what people thought computers could actually do. The cheese factor was quite strong, but it was a fun and amusing show, while it lasted. Galactica 1980. This continuation of the original Battlestar Galactica series seemed very exciting at first, but much of the original cast was not on board, literally. In this story, the Galactica and the ragtag fugitive fleet find Earth, but it's not what they expect. Earth of the 80s did not have the technology to fight Cylons. While some of the concepts of them investigating Earth weren't that bad, there were also Super Scouts. Without the original cast and with the lackluster stories, the series was canceled after 10 episodes. In 1999, Richard Hatch proposed a series called Battlestar Galactica, The Second Coming, that ignored Galactica 1980 entirely. But the franchise actually wouldn't see new life until the reboot in 2003. Manimal. Professor Jonathan Chase can change into animals. Panthers, hawks, horses, you name it. He joins with police detectives Brooke and Ty to use his abilities to stop crime. This one lasted 8 episodes, and while it was interesting, it never really caught on, though it was definitely a pro-animal show. However, in a cool crossover event in the late 90s, actor Simon McCorkindale reprised his role as the Manimal in a second season episode of Nightman. Wizards and Warriors. Another short-lived series was in the fantasy realm, and it was no Game of Thrones. Wizards and Warriors starred Jeff Conaway, who is probably more recognized for his role on Taxi. Conaway played Prince Eric Greystone, who, along with his servant Marco, fought the evil machinations of Prince Dirk Blackpool. With special effects they wouldn't use on Star Trek, and comedy so cheesy it might as well have come from Wisconsin, it quickly turned into the dark ages for this show. 8 episodes, and the magic was gone. The Phoenix. Fans of Ancient Aliens loved this series, But apparently there weren't enough of those fans to go around. An ancient alien played by Judson Scott awakens and tries to find his long-lost girlfriend. With a funky amulet that might have been solar-powered, it was never quite clear, he could do amazing things. After 5 episodes, this series crashed and burned. Yet it did not rise from the ashes. That is by no means a complete list of series in the 80s that were both nerdy and bombs. But let's talk about one series that never even got off the ground, and we're glad it didn't. Planned as a sequel to the fun superhero show, The Greatest American Hero, a pilot called The Greatest American Heroine was aired. Often considered episode 14 of the 3rd season of the original show, even though it didn't air until 3 years after episode 13, at first this was an attempt to bring the original show back. According to William Catt, they wanted to bring back the show for another season with him in the title role, but he turned it down because of his steady work on Perry Mason. So they came up with the heroine concept, but it ended up not flying. This show would have focused on environmental issues, and while there have been lots of great female-led superhero shows, it was so badly written and terribly executed, it was ultimately, and thankfully, rejected. So what other one-season train wrecks did we miss? Let us know in the comments below. Check out some of our other videos, and don't forget to subscribe. Ring that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you on the con floor.